Hello everybody, Danny back from Deepsouth Homestead this morning. Guys, the weather is fantastic today. Today is probably the most perfect weather day I've had in a long time. Now this is shot on Sunday, don't freak out, it's not Tuesday. Tuesday the weather's really bad in the afternoon. Matter of fact, it's supposed to be severe. For us, now I don't know about y'all, but they're saying that's what we're going to get. But today it's really windy, so I couldn't sit on the porch over to cabin because the wind is just howling over there. Which is not a bad thing, because when you sit on the porch, the breeze is cool. It's perfectly sunny today. I mean, it's just very pleasant. We've been sitting down at the pond. I mean, we've been enjoying ourselves. Taking care of our projects around here that need to be done, our chores, things like that. But other than that, the gardens are flourishing. We've got all of our corn, our Danny corn is planted. We've got some tomato plants out. We've got some squash out. We got a lot more going in the little Remington solar greenhouse. And they're popping over there, man. I'm telling you, that thing, I'm amazed. We put little plants about 2 inches tall in some big 6-inch containers and some good potting soil in there. And guys, within a week, the roots all those plants had completely infested the insides of those little black potting things we got. They're like 1 gallon little things. And I told Wanda, I don't think I've ever seen roots grow that fast on anything. Now that Remington solar gets pretty warm in there. But the thing about it is, it holds the heat all night long. Even though it's been like 36 and 37 degrees at night on some of these nights, it's still warm. It doesn't get cold. And as a matter of fact, we had two birds come in there and build a nest in a blanket that was in a tub. I had covered up my stuff. I threw it over in a wash tub in there, and I opened the door the other morning, and 2 birds went there and went to flying all over the place, and they had built a nest in that blanket. Of course, it had to go. I mean, I couldn't leave it, but guys, Porch Time today, I want to be a little bit different on Porch Time today. And you're going to have to pay real good attention today, because I'm going to talk in a way that it's going to sound a little odd, but I'm leading you somewhere, and I want you to pay attention to the things. Now, don't just go making comments off the wall because you hear me say something. You're going to have to hear me. You're going to have to hear me out to the end on this one. Let's just say it's going to be a giant riddle. And there's lots of things I'm going to say in it. And today's going to be, what if we're all wrong? Okay, think about that title now. Not all of the title, but parts of the words out of the title. And I'm going to just say, what if we're all wrong? I have to say it that way because of the algorithm. So, stopping and thinking about everything. I did one the other day talked about, what if about all we've been lied to? Well, what if we're all wrong? What if? When I say that, it kind of brings humor to me, because I have a very special friend that, and I think he listens to my YouTube channels because he's made comments to me before on them, so I'm pretty sure he listens to them, and maybe he'll remember. But I was talking to him about something one time, and he was a Vietnam veteran. Was involved in some pretty serious things in Vietnam. As a matter of fact, he didn't even think he'd come home, to be honest. He did several tours over there and really figured he wouldn't make it back. But I was saying something to him, and he just kind of stopped him right in the middle of it, and he said, "What if it snows in July?" And I was like, okay, point taken. I was what if and everything, I guess. And he just kind of like set me straight, and I'm okay with that. It didn't bother me. But to this day, I remember that. And today, I'm going to be more like a what if situation. What if all this that's going on over in the Ukraine has nothing to do with Ukraine? What if it has everything to do with Israel? What if we have it all wrong and we think it's all about the Ukraine, and what if it's not? What if it's about another nation? That's something to think about. As a matter of fact, there's a book out there that's probably I think it's the #1 bestseller book in the world that talks about what's going on. And those of you who are reading the riddle will understand what I'm talking about. It's kind of funny that we're all focused on the Ukraine, and we should be, rightfully, because there's people there just like us here at America that don't want this to happen to their homeland. You know, this is more about elites and superpowers and authority and dictatorships. I mean, it's all more about that stuff. It's about evil, powers, principalities, rulers of darkness. It's all these type things is what that's really about. It's not about Ukraine, although the Ukraine holds about a quarter of the world's grain, or maybe a little more, as well as a quarter of the world's fresh water. Let's just say that. And boy, it's getting smoky out here for some reason, guys. I don't know. Somebody, I guess I got a neighbor who's done set a trash pile on fire. But what if we're all wrong about that? What if it's something else that they're after, and they're not, and the Ukraine is just a means of getting there? What if everything that's going on in the world, you know, I made a comment on the live stream the other night that the Antarctica is having several days now, here has had several days, that is 50 to 90 degrees above normal temperature. That is totally unheard of in Antarctica. That's never been recorded on their records since they've been keeping records. And I know what's going to be said, but the thing that's going to be said is, oh, it's global warming. And everybody's talking about global warming, climate change, and all these type things on the UN and all. But what if we're wrong? What if that's not what it is? What if there just happens to be super volcanoes underneath the Antarctica, and because the Earth is tilted a little bit off its axis, what if the magma is starting to rise underneath there and it's beginning to heat it up? Or what if we're really in a grand solar minimum? And what if that's really real? And we're going through a 400-year cycle. And things are going to get crazy. It's going to get hotter in some places. It's going to get colder in some places. What if we're getting ready to experience a pole shift? That's something to think about. What if the magnetic fields around the Earth, you know, when the magnetic fields around the Earth, they come in the South Pole and come out the North Pole, is my understanding. What if something's going on there? What if there's a planetary system that's coming into our solar system and we haven't been told? And this planetary system has multiple planets involved in it with multiple moons around it. And what if it's on an I always get this wrong. I say elliptical track. It's bad. My speech is not good with that word, but you get what I'm saying. What if it's on a track and every so many thousand years it comes through our solar system in it, and then in 150 days it departs out of it? What if that's actually happening and there's all this tug of pulling magnetic fields and things like that are happening, and the Earth is reeling to and fro, like it said in the #1 bestseller book in the world, and the Earth is being tugged at? And what if all that's going on with the Earth, with all the things that man's doing to the Earth, all the fracking and the drilling and the testing nuclear weapons and the garbage that we're dumping all over the world and all the things that's going on, what if the earth is actually hurting? And what if the earth is in pain? And it's going through something like a woman when she has a baby. It's travailing because it's in pain. You know, there's a book out there that talks about that. It's a #1 bestseller in the world, I might add. What if this is actually happening and nobody's talking about it? They're trying to blame it on something that man has caused, like climate change or, you know, global warming. What if we're emitting too much carbon dioxide into the atmosphere and it's actually causing that? That would be really weird, wouldn't it? Something to think about. What if the North Pole really isn't all ice? What if we've been, you know, we can't fly over the North Pole. They don't allow it. Or the South Pole, as a matter of fact. As a matter of fact, you're not even allowed to go to the South Pole unless you get permission from certain countries. Kind of makes you wonder what's being hidden. Why can't you go to the North Pole? Why can't you fly over the North Pole? What if we have it wrong and we believe it's all cold? What if there's an opening up there that'll take you down into a place where things are being held at? What if we have it all wrong? What if that's actually the case? What if some of the things that's going on in the atmosphere around here are not actually caused by things that we're doing? What if they're caused by a binary pull or a magnetic pull from a binary system that's out there? That's what if we have it all wrong, and what if that's actually what's going on? What if we're not being told and that's something like that's actually what's happening out there? What if we're being told that all the stars we see in the outer space out there is really not stars? What if there's something else hiding something else? What if all this is actually God's plan in the end, and it's being hidden from us by the powers to be? What if that's actually the case? What if we have it all wrong, and that's actually the real thing that's going on? What if all the things about the you-know-what and the you-know-where is not really going to save our lives? What if it's going to cost us our lives down the road by not really being it that takes us out, but something else that takes us out because we're weaker then? What if we haven't been told the truth? And that's actually the case. Something to think about there. Lots of things that a person has to question. It's just one of these things that, I mean, you know, I'm sitting here, there's so many things out here that, what if we have it all wrong? What if there's really no rapture to take everybody out of here before everything gets really bad? What if we have that wrong? What if it doesn't happen until, let's say, about halfway through it? Or what if we have it even wrong then? And what if it doesn't happen until the end of it? How will you fare then? Will you be able to make it? Will you cave in? Will you give to the powers and say, but I'll die if I don't do this? Where have we heard that? You know, if you didn't do this, you were told you were going to die, and boy, people, they jumped and ran right into it. You know, like, oh, I don't want to die, I'm going to get it, you know. What if we have it all wrong? What if it's a means of controlling everything at the end? What if that plays a part of it? What if our ability to raise food is not going to work in the future because all these things that we thought were chemtrails up there, what if they're really not chemtrails? And what if they're just little tiny particles of aluminum that falls to the ground and unnaturally raises the pH of our soil and binds up the phosphorus in our soil so that our plants can't take it up, and we're no longer able to grow in our gardens that we spent all this money putting all this organic stuff into it? What if we have it all wrong? What if we can't grow a garden then? Something to think about. How will you feed your family? Did you get yourself a greenhouse or a high tunnel to prevent this from happening so you have it out from under the elements of the world? And you have it where you can protect your food? What if it's actually snowing particles at night and we're being told it's just dust in the air? You ever go out at night? Go out at night with a flashlight. On a dark, dark night, when it's pitch black, and turn a flashlight on and shine it through the air, and it looks like it's snowing. But it's not. There's something falling. Question is, what is it? What if we have it all wrong and it's actually aluminum that's falling to the earth? And because the trees in the woods require a soil pH of about 5 or 5.5 in order to survive. Now cedars require a more alkaline soil, but your evergreens, but your cedars, not your evergreens, because pines really need about a 6, it's a 6.5. But what if all these particles, it's shiny little glittery particles, fall into the earth? What if they raise the pH unnaturally and all the hardwood trees and all that kind of stuff starts dying from the top down? What if we have it all wrong and we believe that that's just something that trees do? Food for thought. Think about it. What if the sun is actually emitting fewer solar flares than it normally should? And what if we've got it all wrong because we've been told it's our fault? But what if it's actually because the sun's tired and it wants to go to sleep? So it's relaxing. And when it relaxes, the earth says, oh, well, there's not such intense radiation and the magnetic fields are relaxing, so I'm going to relax also. And the earth relaxes and it drops its shields down. Its protective covering that goes around it. Its magnetic field, if you want to. And then the sun all of a sudden has a hiccup. And when it does, it blows out a huge burst of solar flare. And it's traveling at millions of miles an hour. And it's just huge, and it hits the earth. But luckily, it just glances the Earth. Because you see, the Earth thought the sun was asleep. And it let its magnetic fields down. And boy, had it really hit dead on, the Earth would have suffered some direct consequences because of it. As a matter of fact, I think they call that a coronal mass ejection. What if we're wrong? What if we've been told that that is all our fault? When really, it's a natural thing that happens about every 400 years. Or actually happens every 11 years, but the real bad ones happen every 400 years. What if it's just something that naturally the sun actually does? And our solar system just naturally does it? What if we have it all wrong and thinking it's our fault when it's just something naturally that happens? What if we've been lied to and we've been told, oh, it's not a grand solar minimum. It's cows farting. It's the methane gas they're releasing that's causing all this. Doesn't have anything to do with the fact that we've shot space shuttles up through the atmosphere and blowed holes in the ozone layer time and time and time again. I don't play no part in it. What if there's other books of the Bible out there? What if we've been lied to? What if we've not been told the truth? And what if we're wrong? What if we've believed all along that there was only 66 books that actually contained anything that was really accurate? What if we have it all wrong? And what if there's other books out there? What if there's another book by Daniel? And what if it's only been held in secret? And what if certain countries says, hey, I'm not going to release this ever to the public? What if there's other books that we don't know about, that only certain people have access to? Because if we knew about them, it would open our eyes to certain things around us. But what if we have it all wrong and just believing there were only 66? See? Something to think about. What if there's actually, what if we've not been told everything? And what if we're wrong? What if there really are aliens out there? And what if we have it all wrong, thinking, oh, this stuff is just fiction, it's not anything, I mean, it's non-fiction. What if it's, you know, what if it's not real? But what if it is real? What if those aliens, what if we've been lied to, and what if we've not been told everything? What if we have it wrong, that those aliens are actually fallen angels? That's something to think about. What if we as Christians have it all wrong? And we believe that everything's going to always be good. God is love. What if we have that wrong? What if He's not only love? What if He's just? What if He doesn't like the way we do things? What if we have it all wrong in believing that at the end we're going to get this utopia lifestyle no matter what we do? What if we have it wrong? And we get to the end, and you hear these words that says, "Depart from me. I never knew who you were." And you're thrown off into a lake of fire, and you're burnt forever, but yet you don't burn up. Now that's a little bit hard to comprehend. And worms are constantly eating your body, but yet you're never really ate up. And you're always in a feeling of falling, but yet you never hit the ground. What if we're all wrong in believing that doesn't exist? That's something to think about. Guys, there's so many things out there today that what if we're wrong about, and they're actually real? What if there's not going to be, what if we've had it wrong in believing, let's put it this way, that there's always going to be 4 seasons everywhere on the earth? What if you wake up one day and it goes straight from being winter to being summer? Or what if it goes from being extremely hot to being extremely cold? What if spring and fall just disappear? What if summer just disappears? As I recall, there was a time in 1815, I believe it was, history noted that there was a year without a summer. So Solomon says there's nothing new under the sun. So what if we have it wrong in believing we'll always have our 4 seasons, and one year it doesn't happen? That doesn't mean it won't always happen. But what if it doesn't happen one year again? Because it happened then. But now you have to understand, it was Europe and the North that didn't have a summer. The South had a summer and was able to grow food. So what if we have it all wrong in believing that everything we believe and have always been taught is the truth? And we get to the end and we realize that none of it was the truth. Something to think about. What if everything as we know, what if we have it all wrong and everything that we know, and we believe that our economy is going to continue and everything's going to be good, our kids are going to grow up, we're going to be able to send them to college, and they're going to get a great job and all that, but what if we have it wrong? And in 3 or 4 years, we'll own nothing, and we'll be glad that we own nothing. Something to think about. What if we have it all wrong and we believe that we're going to all live to be older people, and then in about 4 years, 2/3 of the world's population is gone? What if we've had it wrong and that's actually the case? There's a lot of things today, guys, to think about. Porch Time today has been thought-provoking. There's been about 35 or 40 hidden messages in Porch Time today. I've done it because I've been asked to. And the only way I could figure to do some of it was to speak in a way that I questioned everything. Because when you question everything, you're not really saying anything, you're just questioning it. So hopefully today, if you have discernment, you will be able to look between the lines and you will be able to figure out what today was really all about. What if we've had it all wrong? And things as we know it are about to change forever. Thank you guys from Deep South Homestead.